Doing great tonight, Josh. Excited for short track racing here at IOP for the in the Pits News Truck Series. As always, it should be an exciting show up here with you in the booth. Absolutely, Josh. You're right. And not only was it a thrill of a race, a lot of controversy around it, and the guy who crossed the finish line first didn't take the checker flag, so very well could be in for controversy, high emotions again, and tempers flaring. Short track racing. Obviously, a strong short track driver won the Worcester race, the very opening of season one, back in I believe it was December or maybe even November of last year. And since you mentioned Josh, he hasn't raced since that IOP race last season, and in this league that is. And he has been very strong on the short tracks, like I mentioned before, and he was untouchable until the end of the race last season. Running the bottom lane, hit a bump, he said, and just sent his truck straight into the other traffic. And I believe it was Alexander Coffin he hit and wrecked, and it was a disaster in his sense, and he was pretty upset with himself.
And there we go. Now you guys can hear me. I apologize for those technical difficulties that we had. As I was thinking I was saying live, we're here at Indianapolis Raceway Park, looking at Kyle Amon, who is racing for first time since this race last season, and looking to take the win that he thought he had last year. We are only 2 races left until the end of the regular season, and we start the chase. And Talladega is next week, looming in the background. Now, as I was starting to say, again, before I realized that you guys couldn't hear me, we got a special video to show you. It's just a few seconds long. And so let's go ahead and play that for you.
Nice throw.
And that was Brett Bennett paint scheme reveal for tonight, and you see that scheme there, Go Bowling. It was pretty funny to film. I was part of that, one of the pins that got hit, and very excited to see him run tonight in that paint scheme.
Absolutely, Josh. It was a great video review, and unfortunately, it stems from an incident he sustained at Watkins Glen where he kind of went bowling, and as everyone joked in the chat about that incident, he went bowling in that corner, wiped out a bunch of guys, and kind of lost his brakes, but everyone tuned it into a joke, so we're having fun with it, and he's on a string of top 5 finishes before that. He got 7th last week and chasing the playoff position.
Well, before we get much further, I'd like to go ahead and interview a driver. That was the driver that won last week at the Roval. So, Cam, how are you doing?
Doing pretty good. Nice to come off a win for sure. Looking forward to tonight.
Well, you absolutely dominated last week, but it wasn't without battle. You battled with the 15 of Felver for that win, and ultimately he had some issues and allowed you to pull away. So we turn our attention to IRP. You got 2 wins on the season already, and just a couple races left in the regular season before we go to the chase. So what's the momentum like from last week leading into this week?
Hoping it's positive momentum. Obviously, like I said, coming off a win is great. I think tonight's gonna be a good one for me, assuming we don't have a repeat of last year. But as we saw last year, anything can happen, and so I'm just kind of looking to gain some points on Alonso for the overall points lead going into the playoffs and be in a better position going into Talladega, which obviously we know anything can happen there for sure. But we'll see. I think there's a lot of unknowns as to who's going to be quick here tonight. I don't really think the practice speed or qualifying speed will kind of show that. There's definitely a few good guys in here, but I think my long run pace is pretty good here, so I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully I can hang on with these guys and get a good finish.
All right, well, this is the C2 Graphics Throwback race. What's the inspiration behind your throwback scheme tonight?
My throwback scheme is my favorite Kyle Larson scheme he's ever ran. The 2015 Ineos paint scheme he ran in the Xfinity Series. I didn't really have any inspiration for it. I just kind of got stuck as to what I was going to use for my throwback, and then I saw it on a thread on Twitter, and I was like, yep, that's the one right there. So I went with it, and I'm very happy with how it turned out. I think Radius/Vortex has a few good throwbacks this weekend. I've seen a few good other ones, so I'm glad some have partaken in the festivities here for the throwback weekend, but hopefully I can replicate the Larson line here around the top and take her to the victory lane.
All right, well, good luck to you. Maybe we'll talk to you a little bit later on.
All right, yeah, thanks guys.
And that was Cameron Caldwell, driver of the number 12 C2 Graphics Chevrolet. Tonight, won last week at the Roval, second win on the season, and both have come at road courses. Another throwback scheme tonight is number 42 machine. Michael Kruger, points leader, is driving. And while we're on the topic of points, let's go ahead and bring up our points positions. Kruger is 8 points ahead of Alonso Chicano. Chicano sit P2. Cameron Caldwell in third, 23 points behind. Kerfan, 43 points behind. Justin Duran, 53 points behind. Dalton Kelly, 63 points behind. Zach Probst is 66. And Brett Bennett, 72 points behind. That is the top 8. When we look here, Carl Felver, he's got that wild card. As he has a couple of wins and he's in the top 14, so As long as Carl Felver stays in the top 14 and Andrew Elias doesn't collect a win, or actually Andrew could collect a win because he got those 2 wild card positions. But Felver, he's sitting in a good spot right now. Rookie points. Kruger leads Justin Rand by 53 points. Of course, Kruger has those 2 wins coming at Daytona season opener and at Dover. And last but not least, the team points. SBLD leads Vortex by 4 points. And Radius Racing is 51 points behind. Now, you remember last season, Radius Racing took off and never looked back on those team points. And they're sitting 3rd in those points now. Something they're not used to.
Absolutely not. They've been strung out with the split team this season, and they didn't have any drivers show up at the Nashville race a couple weekends ago. But short bus long distance, who's leading the standings, obviously have been on a tear recently. They've been scoring good finishes, and they've been really the talk of the league the last few weeks. Definitely in our broadcast, Josh, and they've been very strong. They need a breakthrough with a win very shortly, but they've been very speedy. We saw a very dominant race from them at Dover, but they didn't come away with the trophy. So I think their day is going to be soon. And a short track like this, I think it could be tonight.
All right, well, 30 seconds till the qualifying starts. Adam, who do you think gets it done tonight?
Well, he's yet to post a lap in this practice session, but we know he's very quick on these short tracks. And if he is to race, I'm going to pick Jason Gracias, that number 1 truck. Very, very strong, obviously, at all the short tracks we go. And he's been a winner at Richmond and very fast this season.
I'm going to go with a different guy tonight. I'm going to go with Noah Mayeri, sitting P2 on the practice charts right now. I think Mayeri, he's going to take the win tonight.
I want to correct what I said. He won at Iowa, and he dominated Richmond until a green-white checkered. But he came up short, though.
We turn to JCTV qualifying. This man right here, Zach Probst, 4-time pole winner this season. And as expected, first one out on the track.
Four-time pole winner, and he's gotten them at completely different types of racetracks, including Nashville, which is a very short racetrack, half-mile, and Iowa, both this season. So very strong qualifying runs all year for the 62 as he gets very close to the outside wall into turn 3.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't hit that wall. He did get very close to it. And he hits the wall that time, so he's going to have a 22.1. Let's see if it holds up. Go to our points leader, Kruger, who is P3 on the board right now.
It's going to seem Probst isn't going to be able to click off that second lap, but as it stands very early in the session, top of the charts, 10th over Brett Bennett right now. Michael Kruger, very slow opening lap. Let's see what he can put for lap number 2.
22.4.
Improves, but doesn't go any further up the charts.
Alexander Kerfan came so close to winning this race last season. Little loose off turn 4 into the wall. That automatically Stops his last lap, and he hits the wall again. Kerfan will not get a time posted. Let's look at the teammate of Zach Probst. Noah Mayeri go out there.
A-Truck also won the pole award at Dover earlier this season, so 5 poles for that team, but short track guy, Kyle Amon, goes top of the charts. Meanwhile, we see the 8 on his opening lap.
Noah Mayeri, top of the board. 3/1000ths of a second quicker than Kyle Amon. Alonso Chicano took over the top spot. Let's see if Noah Mayeri is able to get it back. Noah is not able to. Cameron Caldwell. P4, 22-1 for his first lap. And goes around on his second lap.
He did an excellent job keeping it out of the safer barrier there and not wrecking that truck, even though it doesn't really matter here. But very good record variance there for that 12 truck, as we see Carl Felver pulls out of pit road and is getting ready to get his green flag.
And this is another guy that we need to watch out for. Carl Felver, 2 wins already on the season. He's really good at short tracks.
Absolutely, and he was no slouch on the road course at Charlotte Rover, like we mentioned, top of the show. Second place to Cameron Caldwell last weekend. A little loose off of turn 4, unstable as he gets to the line. He's going to be placed up to 3rd. Let's see what we can do on lap number 2, Josh.
I'm not sure if he's going to have enough time to make it back to the start-finish line. He's got 4 seconds. Off turn 4. He does not.
I believe he had the same thing go straight at Nashville the last time we had 5-minute qualifying like that. I believe he ran out of time there too.
So, Alonso Chicano is the JCTV Pole Award winner. And Noah Mayeri is going to start to his outside. Carl Felver will start in the 3rd position. Kyle Amon starts 4th with Cameron Caldwell in the 5th spot.
Zach Probst is going to start in 6th place with Matthew Stutz in row 4 alongside Dawson Allen. Brett Bennett's going to make up row number 5 with our point leader Micah Kruger on the outside in 10th.
And Alexander Kerfan with Jason Gracias in row 6. Justin Durand and Andrew Elias rounds out our 14-truck field tonight here at Lucas Oil, Indianapolis Raceway Park. Familiar sight for Alonso Chicano to be up front. And he has the best spot tonight. Start him off.
Second JCT Pole Award of the season, Josh. He got his first at Charlotte beginning of the season, race number 2.
iRacing recently had an update, and that introduced start zones, restart zones. We're not going to see that in play tonight because it is for the NASCAR tracks only. the ones that the Cup Series goes to. But I have heard that we could see it next week at Talladega. So in case you're wondering, won't be in effect tonight. But the rules do apply. The same rules that have been for the whole season do apply. Leader has to go on the green flag on the initial start of the race, and then after that, for restarts, leader can go any time after the pace truck pulls down up until the green flag waves. It appears Alonso Chicano has chosen the outside on this, and I don't think I have seen that at all to start off a race as a pole award winner, going to the outside.
It's going to be very vulnerable into turn 1 if he doesn't get the launch he wants. Noah Mayer is going to take huge advantage of that into turn number 1 on the inside of Alonso Chicano and that 25 machine. Obviously try to race him into that corner and beat him off of the back straight away, but we'll see if Chicano can get the launch he wants here on the outside lane.
Pace car is going to make the turn into pit road. And Alonso's going to have to hold all the way around turns 3 and 4. And that green flag is waving. I think Alonso might have jumped it. Noah Mayuri is going to get the lead.
Definitely.
Go ahead, Adam.
Definitely, yeah, it looked like Alonso brake checked there. He might have went too soon and had to jam the brakes, like you mentioned, and very disastrous start. Went the opposite way he needed it to go, because now not only did he let Noah Mayuri get away with the lead, he's gone, almost a second ahead of him.
I wonder if he's going to get a penalty for jumping the start of the race, despite the fact that he did hit the brakes to allow Mayuri to take the lead there. But Mayuri is the leader.
Sure because Mayuri beat him to the line, so maybe that would cancel out the penalty of jumping, but he is staying in second position at the moment. 2 laps complete, but he is 1.3 seconds behind this number 8 truck. And Carl Felver has been filling up that mirror the last couple of laps. Now he's fallen off just a little bit, but he was all over Chicano those opening laps.
See Zach Probst get a little loose off turn 2 towards the back, and looks like Cameron Caldwell trying to make a move on the 15, Carl Felver. Back here we see sitting in 13th position. Oh, we got a caution. It is Alexander Kerfan.
We saw him have trouble with the handling he has with this number 30 truck in qualifying and practice, but it looks like he was racing alongside Brett Bennett and lost on the inside of the 47, leaving turn 4. Innocent lazy spin, I'd say, Josh, to the inside. Didn't hit anything, I don't think.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if it was contact or if it was... Oh, he just went around on his own.
Yeah, as soon as he got the clean air on the front of that 30 truck, because he got to the inside pretty quickly there of Brett Bennett, but as soon as he got there and it kind of lost the handling of him, and like I said before in practice and qualifying, he was unfortunate he didn't post that lap, so he's back there in really dirty air, so very disastrous qualifying attempt and very worst start, I'd say, for this 30 truck.
Turf fan brought it down pit road. Doesn't look like he took tires, but I do see a little bit of damage on the front of his truck.
He's definitely going to want to save tires because we only have 5 sets, I believe, in the pits. So it's going to be very crucial to save them towards the end of the race, especially if we start having a lot of cautions like we saw this race last season. Or just the last short track race at Nashville a couple weeks ago. We had a lot of cautions and went through a lot of tires pretty quick.
Right here you see our choose cone rule. Anywhere in the green you can be. If you're in the red and you cross the start-finish line, will be a penalty. And I believe they're going to be coming up to the choose rule. Not quite yet. Gonna go around another time. This is the C2 Graphics Throwback 200 at Lucas Oil Raceway. Adam, so far, what do you think your favorite paint scheme is tonight?
Oh, I love seeing all the trucks that got involved in general. So we see the choose right here. Mayo's going to take the top this time. But that 25 truck looks very good. I love the Menards throwback. Love Menards paint scheme in general. That Menards throwback looks really good for that Celsius number 25 as it gets real close up to the back bumper of the pace truck. Looks really good with Matt Crafton throwback, of course, and the 42 Haviland Juan Pablo truck I really like. And Cameron Caldwell's Ineos truck is really good too.
Yeah, all three of those that you mentioned, I think are some of my favorites as well. Big Matt Crafton fan, big Kyle Larson fan. We're back under green though. No Mayer, he gets the jump. And Alonso Chicano got a great restart, but he's almost falling back in the clutches of Felver and Probst. Who are still side by side for that third position. Probst hanging strong on that inside lane.
Probst was able to use the choose cone to get around Caldwell. He was in line behind Cameron before that restart. Now he's racing with Carl Felver for third, so big net gain for the 62 truck as he gets a little wobbly there through the center of the corner. Still door-to-door to the 15 in turn number 3.
And I think Felver got loose there entering 3. Probst is almost clear of Felver. Not quite. Felver holding strong on that outside lane. And insert Kyle Amon into the battle. Side by side with Cameron Caldwell.
Yeah, Josh, you picked the camera up on him right before that yellow came out. He was just riding in last place, just saving his tires, I believe, because here he is up in the mix, racing for P5 right now against Caldwell. And he's going to be trying to contest this third position, too, if these 62 and 15 trucks keep battling.
Cameron got loose in the background. He's going to fall back, lose position, I believe, to the 42 of Michael Kruger. Well, they're side by side still. We still watch this battle between Felver and Probst, who are side by side. Probst and Felver not giving an inch to each other.
Both keep diving it in deeper than the other. Felver has an advantage for the first time in several laps now. He was clear of Probst down the back straightaway, and he's going to take it right now. Kyle Amon's putting his truck on the outside of Probst, though. He's going to easily take that position. Probst very vulnerable there, and Kyle Amon took advantage of it. Back to P5 for the 62 truck.
And the battle between the 42 and the 12. Kruger did get the position over Caldwell, and Caldwell, of course, looking underneath, trying to get that spot back. The outside lane is really where you want to be at here, though.
And of course, Josh, that position, excuse me, very important because it's the 6th and final points-paying position in the stage. Kruger, the point leader, is not the point leader with the point drop. That'd be very, very bad for him in terms of playoff points he wants to earn going into the playoffs, which start in 3 weeks. So he's got wins on the season, but he just needs more boosts, and he wants to outpoint Alonso, who's running P2 right now. That's not the way to do it if he loses these points at all to Caldwell right now. But we got a long way to go yet in the stage, which ends on lap 50.
Yeah, Kruger, he's going to have a handful trying to hold off Cameron Caldwell for that final position like you were talking about. I think Caldwell has a little bit of right side damage on his truck, though. Go back to the lead. Noah Mayuri, he's not been able to pull away from Alonso Chicano like he did in the beginning of this race.
And Chicano has been diving it in really deep the last couple laps and trying to something different in the center of the corners to Noah Mayuri, who's just letting it coast. And Chicano's on the attack and filling up his mirrors, maybe trying to play games with him right now. Very early in the run, like I mentioned. And like everyone knows, long way to go in the race. And Noah Mayuri hasn't been able to put together a clean race, unfortunately, in this league. And he's been so close, and it's been so unfortunate to see him, this season at least, not be able to put together a great race. And if he does, it would really shake up the point situation. So there you see Alonso in the background. He's going to be all over in the center of the corner here.
He's right on board with Alonso Chicano and the Celsius live fit on board here. Just see the different lines that each driver is racing here. Enter up top and try to get the diamond off the corner. And oh no, Mayuri got the wall.
Chicano diving to the inside, not able to do anything though. Like you mentioned earlier, Josh, the outside is the dominant way to go around. Chicano maybe hit a bump into turn 1. We saw him immediately steer it to the left when he saw Mayuri pierce the fence, but not able to get the job done with that inside lane.
Now you see Alonso Chicano running a lot higher entering the corner, and he was a lot lower exiting the corner as well. Noah Mayuri, he needs to regather himself as Chicano gets loose. Exit of 4 there.
Meanwhile, in the background of the shots, we've been seeing this fight continue. Michael Kruger maybe scraping the wall right there into the entrance of turn 1.
Back to the lead, side by side. Alonso Chicano trying to roll the bottom.
This is a big challenge, though, with bottom in 1 and 2.
Oh no, Mayuri got into the wall there. Mayuri's going to bring it down pit road. Let's take a replay of what happened. He just...
I don't think they're going to agree on that contact, but I think that's just...
I don't think there was any contact. It's like...
It doesn't look like it, but it also kind of looks like his truck, you know, the way it looks like it definitely got hit or connection issues or something. That's why I think they're not going to agree on that necessarily, and it's probably going to be race-ending damage there. As you see, the 8 truck on pit road's already lost a lap, going to go down definitely another, but a ton of damage on the right side of that. Not
the night Noah Mayuri wanted to have. Alonso Chicano now has a lead by a little under a second over Carl Felver. Meanwhile, we were watching into the background. Cameron Caldwell and Michael Kruger battle for what was the 6th position. Caldwell was able to get around Kruger and has pulled away by over a second over the 42, Michael Kruger. But with Noah Mayuri going into the wall, that puts Michael Kruger right back at a point spot.
Absolutely, but he is only half a second ahead of Matthew Stotts right now, and meanwhile Cameron Caldwell is running down Zach Probst. We see it right here. He is running a lot lower on the racetrack, but a lot faster than the 62 machine, and he's been cutting into that margin between these two rapidly.
I have to say my favorite paint scheme tonight in this throwback race goes to Justin Durand. I was a huge Jeff Gordon fan, and awesome to see that scheme tonight. He's battling right now with Matthew Stotts for that 7th position. Of course, you were just talking about Stotts not too far behind Kruger. You see Kruger right up there. Justin Durand, he might be able to get himself 2 positions here before the end of the stage.
And these would be massive points for Justin Durand if he would be able to get these stage points tonight, Josh. He's right on the cut line. I believe he's in right now, but it's going to be very, very close with the way the drop week falls to everyone's advantage and disadvantages.
Battle for the 4th position heating up. Cameron Caldwell looking underneath 62, Zach Probst. Caldwell's gonna drive it in as high as he can, just underneath Probst. Caldwell has to settle behind Probst for the moment. Meanwhile, Justin Durand looking on the outside, trying to put his nose on that outside of the 38 machine. Matthew Stotts.
Stotts getting underneath Michael Kruger there in turn 2 for a moment. Wasn't able to take advantage on the back straightaway where he's going to dive into turn 3. Can't do anything yet, and Justin Durand's going to rip the top. Might get 2 positions. He's definitely going to get the 38 on the exit, and he's going to drag race him down into turn 1.
The way that Kruger drove 3 and 4, I thought Justin Durand was going to be able to get himself 2 and 1.
Durand a lot more aggressive on the brakes in the center of the corners, as you see here, compared to Michael Kruger. And I think that goes in part that Michael Kruger hadn't turned in a lap until this week at Indy Raceway Park, I believe, Josh. So maybe a little inexperience faulting him here for this final stage point in the final 10 laps, but it's going to be a race between these two. I think it could go either way here. It's a pretty strong battle. And Matthew Stotts is waiting in the wings, of course.
And I was chatting with Michael Kruger just before this race, and he was not feeling good about this one at all. Oh, Justin Durand gets the wall off the exit of 2.
And slow down his momentum, and he's still as aggressive in the center of the corners on the brakes. You see Matthew Stotts trying to diamond the corner, trying to attack back that 20 truck.
Right now, Kruger, the best thing he has for him. Excuse me. Best thing Kruger has for him is that he is able to roll the high line. And that's all he needs right now. Just for a few more laps. I think Durant catches the wall once again. Go up to the front, P2. Kyle Amon is right there with Carl Felver. Coming to 5 laps to go in the stage at the line. And Felver and Amon, they were catching Alonso Chicano. With this battle here between the two, this is just going to allow Chicano to pull away.
Overrunning that top line, so Haman just automatically goes down a lane just to poke some air on the nose. Even though it's a short check, he's still just trying something different, of course. Still running a lane low in 3 and 4, but washes up a little bit. And Felver's able to pull away a little bit on that 17 right now for the moment, but you see him gap him down the straightaways. Well, excuse me, the 17 pulled him is what I meant there, obviously. Kyle Mann trying to run down Carlo Felver, excuse me, for the second position.
And if he's going to get that P2 spot before the stage, he's going to have to do it quickly. Of course, points don't matter for Kyle Amon. He's not fighting for stage points. Carl Felver is.
Even though Chicano's gapped them right now and he's dominating this race as of right now and leading all the laps he's led, this might be a preview for a race for the win, knowing how the history of those two are on short tracks.
Off turn 3 and 4, though. Alonso Chicano is going to win the stage tonight. Felver and Amon second and third. Cameron Caldwell fourth. Probst in fifth. And Michael Kruger will hold on to that sixth and final stage point-paying position. That brings out our second caution tonight. Everybody, except a couple drivers, came down pit road. Carl Felver wins the race off pit road over the 25 of Alonso Chicano. Brett Bennett and Andrew Elias stay out, though. Well, let's go ahead and bring in our stage winner, Alonso Chicano. Hey, Alonso, it's Josh up at the booth. Got a copy?
I hear you guys.
Hey, winner of stage. Start was pretty interesting. What happened on the start of the race?
I just completely forgot that we start on green. I was just so ready to go, and yeah, just little mind blip, I guess.
So the battle between yourself and Noah Mayuri didn't look like there was contact from what we saw, but can you explain what might have happened to him?
Yeah, I don't know. It's really unfortunate. I was looking forward to racing him. He was pretty fast. I felt like I did have the long run speed there to be able to catch him, so I was just kind of letting him do his own thing. But once we got side by side, I was really just kind of pressuring him, just to get a little loose or something. And just got next to him, and I guess he just got up to the wall or something. I'm not sure. We did not make any contact, and not quite sure what happened. Hopefully, it wasn't like lag or anything like that. But yeah, it just really sucks because I was looking forward to racing.
Well, you lost the race off pit road, so it looks like you're going to restart on the front row on the bottom here as you just chose. So, what are you expecting throughout the rest of this race?
Well, Carl and Kyle and Cam are going to be pretty fast. Seeing from how like the first stage went, I feel like I have a pretty good long run truck, so we'll see. Hopefully, I can talk to you guys again later.
All right. Well, good luck to you out there, and we'll see if we do talk to you later.
All right, thank you.
That was Alonso Chicano. We're going back green. Carl Felver gets the jump. And we got a battle here, side by side. For that fourth position, Matthew Stotts on the outside. He might be able to get to the outside of Caldwell. He's not able to. Kruger trying to get into the hole just between Stotts and Probst.
Stotts was clear for that position, but he washed a little bit in 1 and 2, allowed Kruger to fight back on that inside for the moment. He's back clear while Kruger races back to these inside. No, he tucks in line barely, trying to race the 38. He contact with him. Matthew Stotts in the wall. He's going to ride it through turns 1 and 2 while Kruger gets away with 4th position.
That was crazy. Kruger now P4.
More problems with Matthew Stotts in the background there, dude. Yeah, I see him tucked out of line maybe. He's got big time right side damage. He's going to fall all the way to the back of the pack, Josh.
He is going to go from 7th to 11th, it appears, for Matthew Stotts. Maybe P10 here is where he's actually at.
Raced all the way up to
Oh, we got a
4th.
spin. It is Dawson Allen. He keeps it off the wall.
What a great slide and that's great save. Very unfortunate he's going to lose all this track position in time because he was running such a quiet and strong race just to the tail end of the lead lap, and now he's going to be in danger of losing that lead lap position here. Very long run centric race we have going so far, and right side damage big time on that 79 Ford.
Let's see if we can see what happened here. He just went around on his own.
And he caught the wall right in the middle of 1 and 2 right before that, so definitely upset the handling of his truck, and maybe he didn't. Maybe it just broke from him right there after that wall damage.
Here we go, battle for the lead.
Yeah, Alonso mentioned in the interview he knew he had a short run truck to Norm Air, and obviously the same to Carl Felver here, who broke away and took off on the restart yet again to that 25 truck, but after a few laps, Chicano's here.
And look at the right side of Chicano's truck when you're able to. You see some front end damage right there. So Chicano must have caught the wall at some point. You're trying to watch the replay of Dawson Allen going around, or you're watching that big battle with Stotts and Kruger. Now Felver, he's starting to gap Alonzo Chicano. Alonzo Chicano trying to hold on.
Yeah, he's definitely losing a little bit more touch at 15 in the last couple of laps. But as soon as I said that, he had a much better turn number 3. Here he is attacking again in turn 1. He seems to be diving in a lot more than Carl Felver, but can't really execute on the straightaways as we've seen other trucks. But as I start saying that, there he is diving again in the end of the straightaways. Josh, what do you think?
It's kind of reminding me of a Darlington line. The way you, at least in last year's cars, the Gen 6 Cup cars, the way you wanted to enter turn 1 was to enter tightly, hit the apron just a tad bit, then shoot out towards that wall, and then cut back down on exit to get that apron again, just a little bit. And it's kind of what it's reminding me of a little bit here is just kind of that drive, except rather than just doing it at one end of the track like you would at Darlington, you have to do it both ends of the track. And Alonzo Chicano, he's able to figure something out here as he's now all over the back of Carl Felver. Not able to find a way around Felver just yet. We've seen it is so hard to pass on the bottom here. Alonzo Chicano just trying to be patient here. See if he can force Felver into a mistake. Felver, no stranger to being up front lately. And Chicano might have gotten a little bit too wide there early. That's going to cost him a little bit of time. Not much, just a little bit down the backstretch.
Absolutely, Felver been very great recently in the last couple weeks. Very great to see him competing, of course, again, because we don't know his schedule. He really says he doesn't know how many of the races he's going to be able to make, so him being on the wild card in the playoff bubble is very, very interesting, with him showing up nearly every week and him having race contending speed almost every weekend, Josh. And he is racing right now and holding off the leadingest driver in this league's history, albeit only a season and a half deep, but still pretty strong showing for this 15 truck, of course, every weekend.
Yeah, Felver knows he's got a big job here, holding off Alonzo Chicano. And of course, these drivers, they race around each other a lot between the Independence Truck Series and the MartinPC.com Truck Series races on Wednesday nights. Both these series that I mentioned, of course, the Independence News Truck Series you see here using the trucks, the MartinPC.com series, they are also trucks. Both these guys are competitors in that one as well. So these guys, they race around each other quite a bit. Felver knows how big of a challenger Alonso Chicano is, and Alonso Chicano knows how good Carl Felver is. But like you were just saying, Adam, of course, we've not really been able to see Felver as much in the ITPN Truck Series, but he's started showing up a lot more and in that wild card spot to have a chance to win the championship here in a few weeks.
Chicano's still heavily applying the pressure here on this 15 Ford, Carl Felder, not letting that get to him right now. Still a long way to go, obviously, in this race. Long way to go in this stint, I'd assume. Right now, Matthew Stotts is on pit road. He's gone down 4 laps, and he is getting damage repairs. He might be done for the night. We saw him hit the wall a couple times, racing inside the top 5 momentarily. And Alexander Kurfin went down a lap. So Dawson Allen is tail end of the lead lap. He's going to go down a lap down, unfortunately, very shortly. He's only 5 seconds ahead of these guys.
Yeah, and for Alexander Kurfin, I noticed he's been a lap down for quite a while now in this race. What he does not want to see is Dawson Allen go a lap down. Kurfin would like to see a caution, and so he could get his free pass. He's got a big battle happening in front of him between Justin Duran, Kyle Amon, and a little bit ahead of them is Michael Kruger. See Amon looking underneath B42, Michael Kruger. Tucks back in.
And you see these guys all pretty much having to tiptoe behind Michael Kruger because he's using the fast lane around, and obviously he's not faster than these guys. They're all running a little bit deeper in the corners. You see Kyle Amon diving onto the inside in turns 1 and 2. It's going to be a tall task, like we've seen all night. Passes are hard to come by on the bottom, but if you're able to string brake corners on the bottom consecutively, just like he did for 1 straight lap, and when you're on a weaker truck like Michael Kruger is, and you're pretty strong at passing trucks like Kyle Amon is, pretty simple like that.
I was wondering if we were going to see a slide job out of Kyle Amon. He was patient. He did that very, very well. And now pulling away.
If we see Justin Duran try that, he was poking his nose quite a few times there on Michael Kruger there. Excuse me, Josh.
Yeah, I think Justin Duran went to school a little bit there, and he might just very well try that, as you were saying. Meanwhile, Kyle Amon already up to the 62 of Zach Probst. Trying to do the exact same thing, not quite able to. Amon's still underneath that 62 Probst though.
And like I mentioned before with the last pass, with Probst being a lot faster truck and no right side damage like the 42 obviously, he's going to be a lot harder to pass. And Zach Probst is a great short track racer. I'm sure he has lots of experience around this place, and as does Amon, so this might be a really strong contested battle for P4. Amon's been through the pack quite a few times tonight, but Probst has been hanging right around the top 5 all night. As you see Amon running that yellow line, painted it, and got very squirrely off turn 4, almost made it stick. That would have been a very, very, very slick move to slide into P4. Now he might be able to get it done in turn 1. And he does off of turn 2.
I would like to just quickly mention, you're seeing this battle for 4th. Of course, Kyle Amon now has it they are almost half a track behind Carl Felver. Right now, they're in the middle of exiting turn 2 here. Felver is now at the start-finish line.
And Josh, personally, I think it's beautiful because it shows the tire wear, it shows the tire degradation. These guys are wheeling it. They're driving the rubber off these things. That's how much they are wheeling it around this place. And I don't think it's going to stay 10 seconds very long because I think Kyle Mann's been saving his stuff this stint, and he's going to be trying to cave in that lead to see how much he's already put away on Zach Probst.
So far, Felver has been the fastest truck. And Felver still was the fastest that last time around. And Felver has lapped the 79 of Dawson Allen now. So Kerfan would not be the free pass if the caution were to come out. For Dawson Allen, right now he's got to hope that Felver doesn't catch Elias and Bennett. It is about a straightaway of a difference between Felver and Andrew Elias in the 44 machine, sitting P9 at the moment. We are just a little under halfway in the C2 Graphics Throwback 200 at Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park. Carl Felver, the leader. And Andrew Elias, first one down pit road.
Last pit stop was about 45 laps ago for pretty much all of the drivers, but some elected to come down on different laps during that caution. But this is very early compared to obviously the rest of the field. I'm surprised, honestly, he came down this soon. Josh, what do you say?
Yeah, I'm shocked myself. Felver just went around, so Elias will be 2 laps down here. This
Maybe
does.
This was, well, he was the last truck on the lead lap, and he was only about 4 seconds ahead of Felver, so maybe this was a last-ditch effort to try to do something in this race. If it's continued to run green all night, why not short pit it completely and try something different? And he's going to get completely thrown out of the running if a caution comes out before the rest of the field cycles. But in the long game, could be very, very huge, as you see the fresh Goodyear coming to use right here with a lot of grip in the corners, but he's not able to make it stick because Cameron Caldwell's right ahead of him, kind of disturbing the air, getting in his way. There, if he's able to get the outside, can't quite do it yet. He should be able to get past Caldwell here very shortly with his fresher tire.
And Caldwell does stay low, so Andrew Elias will pass the 12 machine. And maybe it wasn't too early for Elias, or maybe Alonso Chicano decided he wanted to try that as well. We are halfway through the race now, so Alonso Chicano, he's cutting this into thirds.
Very deep into his pit box there for the 25, but he's inside the box just barely, and Carl Felder's down pit road too, so could see a lot of green flag pit stops, Josh. I guess this is the perfect pit window.
Zach Probst and Michael Kruger are down as well. Oh, wow, right side damage on that 42 machine. Alonso Chicano did come a lap before Carl Felver did, and Felver was able to maintain being ahead of Alonso Chicano. So once this cycles through, Felver will retake the lead. And 13.8 seconds was Felver's time. Alonso Chicano was 14.1. Race leader Cameron Caldwell is getting passed by Carl Felver. Not for position, of course. Felver going back on the lead lap. So Caldwell, he's trying the long game here. Caldwell is banking on a caution coming out at some point.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw that too. And
Alonso Chicano wheeling it in turn 4.
he definitely was there. That was insane.
He's the guy with fresh tires too, and he's still up
Caution
on the wheel.
is
and we
out.
have a
It is
caution.
Zach Probst stopped on the front stretch. Wow.
Well, that was great timing for Chicano, at least.
And bad timing for Andrew Elias, who is 1 lap down. So actually, Elias might be able to get a wave around here and be all right. Let's go ahead and take a look at the replay. Probst just went around on his own.
Looks like what Alonso did a couple laps ago, except he wasn't able to catch it. He wasn't as lucky, and unfortunately, another lazy slide out of the corner.
We're gonna go ahead and bring in our in-race reporter, Brett Bennett. Hey Brett, it's Josh up in the JCTV booth. You got a copy?
Yeah.
Well, hey, sorry it's taking so long for us to get to you as the in-race reporter. But how's the truck feeling?
It's feeling good on the long run. I don't really have good takeoff speed. I kind of just been taking it easy all race. Kind of been just trying to keep it clean. I'm not sure why everybody was pitting that early. I just don't think that was the right strategy call. So I was planning just to run it until I was out of fuel and then hope to catch the caution. And we caught the caution. So going to be restarting, I think, 5th here. So.
Well, what are you expecting now that, of course, we have seen the caution? What do you think it's going to be like for the next 90 laps?
I think it's going to be a lot of people are going to start getting impatient. I mean, I think my goal is just to try to keep it clean early in the run. On the long run, I'm starting to run people down. So if we go green to the finish, I feel pretty good about being able to get a pretty decent finish here. I got my lap led by staying out in the first caution, got that bonus point, which every point right now is huge. So, yeah, so far, so good.
All right, what's it going to take to get that 47 team into the chase here in just a couple weeks?
Well, it helps. Dalton having to miss tonight helps us, and then I think Probst said he might have to miss Talladega, so it's just going to be tight between me, Andrew, Dalton, and Probst for those last 2 spots. Obviously, just got to take advantage of every opportunity to get every point I can, whether that's trying to hang back, run fast laps at Dega to get the fastest lap, trying to stay out on pit cycle an extra lap on a under caution with lead laps. Just do whatever I can to maximize my point gain.
All right, well, we'll let you get back up in there with your team, and maybe we'll talk to you in a bit.
Yep, thank you.
That was our in-race reporter, Brett Bennett. currently running in the 5th spot. Lights on the pace truck are off and already pulling into the safety of pit road. You see Felver chose the outside, Caldwell chose the inside, Amon outside, Durand inside, Brett Bennett to that outside. We're going to go green. And Felver gets on the gas on the exit of the corner. I think that threw off a lot of people. Chicano trying to go to the outside of Durand. Durand, of course, put a block. Cameron Caldwell going all the way to the bottom. Now he's got Amon to the outside. Amon, power move on that outside. Now focusing on that 15 of Carl Felver.
Justin Durand's going to cycle up to 4th. He got by Alonso Chicano. Brett Bennett falls to 6th. Carl Felver might have scraped the wall there, racing in the lead in turn 1 and 2. Amon and Caldwell both looked on the inside of him through the center of the corner. They tucked back in line on the straightaways. All three running different lines to the center of the corners right here, and you see great shots there. Caldwell tucks back on line on the straightaways. Here comes Justin Durand with a huge run coming towards him. Caldwell really diving in deep compared to that 17 of Kyle Amon there. Running all the way to the yellow line there through the center of the corner. Might have got a little loose, Josh.
Yeah, I think he did, and that cost him a little bit of time. He's falling back into the clutches of that 20 machine. But these two start battling pretty hard, Amon and Felver. Caldwell, he's not too far behind. He might be able to take advantage, but not if he keeps getting sideways. Justin Durand might have something to say. Durand run a little bit higher than that 12 machine. Cameron Caldwell entering the corner.
Alonso Chicano is all over Justin Durand for P4, so really the top 5, all within almost just a second of each other, racing very, very close and very, very tight right here at IOP in the last 100 laps tonight.
All these drivers are in striking distance. If something happens with Kyle Amon and Carl Felver, if they start really battling, Amon being very patient right now behind that 15 machine, Carl Felver. Amon, he had been hinting that he was making a return, but every time he was asked if he was actually racing, Amon denied it and said, "No, I am not racing." But he kept hinting that he might be here tonight. And this has been going on for a few weeks as well, Adam.
Absolutely, and he was very, very critical on himself. The most critical I've really ever seen anyone in iRacing. Well, after the or at least in this league, in these, you know what I mean, like these private truck series leagues with everyone, not private, but the truck series leagues that we run on Saturdays and Wednesdays in years past. He was very, very hard on himself after the contact, the mistake he made, and he owned up to it completely right away, and people were upset with him, they were pissed towards him, and he was able to fight the criticism off and run in other leagues, and he didn't really want to return, but he was excited to come back to IOP, I think, and try to redeem himself and try to do it cleanly this time.
He's been doing a great job as well. We saw him running in 13th of the 13 trucks that did start. Before that first caution came out, as soon as they went back green, he was battling up in the top 5, and he's not missed a step at all. I think Amon was just kind of feeling out the truck, feeling out the track, seeing what the competition was like, and then after that first caution, decided to flip a switch and start racing.
And he's really flipped a switch on the leader right now. He is all over the track trying to fill up the mirror of Carl Felver. first time we've really seen him contend for this lead spot. It's really been Chicano and Felver all night after Noah Mayo's incident from the pole. Or excuse me, from the outside pole, the inside pole. And it's really been Felver and Chicano like it's been the last couple of weeks. But Kyle Amon, like you mentioned, Josh, in his return race, trying to put the pressure on Felder right now. Long way to go. Here he is diving on the inside again off of turn 2. Can't quite do it yet.
He's looking a lot higher to the outside than Felver, and now way lower on the exit. And here he goes again, trying to look to that inside of the 15.
He's definitely trying new techniques into the entrance of these corners. Meanwhile, we've had scraps all over behind them for P3. Cameron Caldwell's got that again, and he's been running these guys down little by little.
And don't look now, but Alonso Chicano was able to get around Justin Durand for that 4th position. So Alonso Chicano wanting to get back up into where he's been running all race long until now. He's got to get around Cameron Caldwell in order to get back up there to battling with these guys for the lead.
Amon keeps peeking the nose to one side of the 15's mirror just to completely fill that mirror up and make him think about a pass. And he's still not able to put that wheel inside of him yet, but he's been close mighty times.
And I'm wondering if Amon watched the broadcast last week and saw the battle between Felver and Caldwell, where Caldwell was all over the bumper of Felver and waiting to make a move. Of course, Felver forced into a mistake. Wondering if Amon watched that, learned something about Felver that he's trying to use tonight. Amon might be able to get to the outside of Felver. And Amon's
great opportunity, but he can't do it. He's going to slide into turn 1 and send it in there.
Amon does look to the inside. Felver's got the advantage. I think Amon just got super tight off the corner. And that truck looked like it just plowed to the outside. Just behind, we got
wow, Alonso in the wall, big time. He sent it in there, but he's still going.
And just as I was going to say, we got a battle for 3rd. That happened. So Alonso Chicano need to regroup now. Catch back up to Cameron Caldwell. He wants to get that 3rd spot. No, he did not. He's
that was
still
crazy.
right there.
The way we just saw him just ship it in there and pretty much ride the wall, and he didn't lose much time. Just former teammate in Alliance, obviously, but 12 and 25 was for that P3 fight. It's going to continue on. I think if Caldwell can't catch these guys, it's pretty much stagnant at a 1 second gap from 1st to 3rd for that 12 machine.
And look at the different lines that these two are driving. We've been talking about the entry and exit lines all night. It seemed like it was completely opposite through 1 and 2 the last time. Yeah, Caldwell entering way low, where Chicano is entering way high.
Caldwell is sending it really wide up on the exit of the corner too. He's using all the lanes right now. It's really going to eat up his tire, but I don't think he's really caring right now. I think he's just trying to hold on and worry about that later if we get a yellow. As you see Kyle Amon with a huge drift, so is Alonso Chicano, both sliding big times off turn 4. That's where we've seen both of the incident causing cautions from spins off of turn 4, and those guys wheeling it off there again.
I think Caldwell also got just a little bit loose there, but not like Amon or Chicano did. Right now that helps Carl Felver. Felver is now 8/10 ahead of Kyle Lamont.
Maybe a bigger advantage for Cameron Caldwell too, at least not his slide, but definitely Kyle Amon's, because and Alonso Chicano's, because now he's got an empty mirror, because he has a little moment there. But he was right close down that 17. Could have had an opportunity there, but I should have spoke too soon, because he's having his own handling problems in turn 4 now.
Well, these guys have a little gap between them. Let's go ahead and turn it up. Battle for a third position continues to heat up, but actually I believe Kyle Lamont was just in the wall there, Adam.
Definitely very close to it. You see he's running the bottom lane now. Doesn't look like he's got major right side damage on that 17. He's going to go back up towards the wall a little bit in 1 and 2 now. 0.8 of a second behind the race leader, Kyle Felver. Watching that great battle, of course, during the turn. Excuse me. Cameron Caldwell holding off Alonso Chicano somehow throughout that. Now he's opened up a little bit of a lead for himself. Chicano is filling up his mirror quite nicely and all over that 12's tailgate. But now you see a very comfortable gap. Both trucks having a lot of issues in turn 4 still.
And this is about the closest battle on the track, as Kyle Lamont is 0.8 of a second behind Carl Felver. Now, here's my question. There are 50 laps to go. We saw drivers pitting at about lap 100. Of course, that was before the caution came out. I'm wondering if they're going to try to pit about halfway once again. Cut the run in half, and for some drivers, that would be now. For others, that'd be here in about 7 laps. Here we got Michael Kruger with Andrew Elias and Dawson Allen around him. Of course, Dawson and Andrew are both 1 lap down. Kruger catches the wall a little bit there. So the only battle for position here is between Dawson Allen in the 79 and the 44, Andrew Elias. Andrew Elias trying to get around Michael Kruger. Try to put a truck between himself and Dawson Allen, who's just kind of hanging out there in the background. Just in the background, way back there, you see race leader Carl Felver. So these guys really need to start to turn the horses up a little bit so they don't go a lap down. Second lap down for Andrew Elias. And I'm actually been wrong this entire time. Dawson Allen is on the lead lap. The only one here that is not is the 44 of Andrew Elias. Either way, Elias trying to not go 2 laps down. Kruger gets into the wall again. Now looking underneath the 44, Andrew Elias. As well, Elias starts to pull away.
Well, Josh, to go back to your question from before, I think that caution might have ruined any green flag pit stops you might have seen in the middle of this race. They might go all the way to the end now. Splitting it in half at least, excuse me. That plan might be ruined from that caution we saw earlier. They might not want to risk it and do it again here and get caught out like we saw what happened to Elias. Maybe they're going to have to run out the fuel window. I think they're going to have to pit, but it's going to be really late in the going, wouldn't you say?
Well, at this rate, I do believe that what you just said might be the case here, because nobody has come down pit road as of yet. We have 10 trucks still out here racing. Probst, Stotts, and Mary have all retired. Jason Gracias didn't even start the race. So 10 trucks still running. And none of them have elected to come down pit road yet. Andrew Elias was last down 28 laps ago. Elias did make green flag pit stop shortly after they went back green. Carl Felver's been out there 61 laps. So some of these drivers, they're getting close, but not close enough that they feel like they're ready to pit just yet. So going back to your point, Adam, I believe that these guys are going to stay out as long as possible because they don't want to be caught laps down if a caution does come out. see here, Carl Felver is closing in on Dawson Allen. That 79 machine put Dawson Allen a lap down. He is running in the 8th position. Dawson looked forward to this race several weeks ago, and when we had that little wager at Michigan, he told me that he wanted to run this race and would be very mad if I took that away from him if I won the bet. Of course, I did win the bet. I did not elect to do my second race, and I was not going to take this one away from him. So, Dawson Allen, 1 lap down now, currently running P8, but battle for the lead is starting to heat back up. As Kyle Amon has been running down Carl Felver.
Yeah, Dawson Allen unintentionally closed up the gap a little bit as Kyle Amon has a little bit of a moment there again through turns 1 and 2. Going to open it up just a little bit more, but he's going to keep chasing Carl Felver down. Like you mentioned, Dawson Allen running a pretty great race up until contact we saw with the wall and then his spin. So as soon as he got that right side damage, unfortunately his night fell apart, but very strong effort still. P8 could have a very great finish left in it here last quarter of this race. Wow, moment for Carl Felver exiting turn 4. He was loose. Didn't seem to hurt his speed too much, but Kyle Amon, I'm sure he took big notice of that, and he is continuing to run down that lead, or trying to at least. He's got his eyes set on that 15 truck.
Amon is definitely in push mode here. 0.6 of a second off of Carl Felver. And they're at 30 laps to go in this race now.
Definitely curious what it's going to be like with this pit situation we got left brewing in the chamber, but still a long way to go in the race. But it's going to fly by really quickly if it's continuing to be this long green flag run, tail end of it here. And Kyle Felver's just been clicking down the laps, but Kyle Amon, like you mentioned, was running him down. Now it's opened back up a little bit again. But lap traffic is brewing ahead of that 15 truck. This could be the determining factor, especially if you get lap trucks and pit strategy getting involved. Could be very, very spicy with different laps being pitted, and of course, who's in the way win.
Yeah.
Michael Kruger right now right in front of the race leader. Excuse me, Josh.
To your point, there are 28 laps to go. You can get almost 3 laps in a minute. My telemetry is telling me this race is only going to be about 10 more minutes long, and they still have a pit stop to do. The one thing that I do want to point out, though, is, well, before I get to that, yeah, Kruger in the wall.
Right in front of Kyle Amon. He's still going to be in between them. He's holding up that 17, I would believe. Big gap between the two now. Much bigger than when it was before the 42 caught the fence, though, momentarily. And he's running the same line Amon wants.
That is gotta be frustrating for Amon. who was closing in on Carl Felver and keeping him within striking distance, making me wonder here if Mon might try something for pit strategy now. Try to undercut Carl Felver.
Huge dive into turn number 3 on the 42 truck. He was clear for a moment, but the 42 is going to keep racing him. Amon does clear him off the corner exit, though. Definitely thought Kruger was going to have the momentum to race him back, but Amon was able to clear himself, and now he's pulling away, but he's 1.3 back on the race leader, who is catching Andrew Elias just ahead.
So what I was gonna say there just before that is Andrew Elias is not too far ahead of Carl Felver right now, but I'm wondering here, Elias is 1 lap down at the moment. Elias, I don't think Elias has to pit again.
I think you're absolutely right, and this might be he may be the smartest driver right now if it plays out perfectly. The only thing is he's about to go 2 laps down, and that is a big danger zone.
If he is able to stay ahead of Carl Felver here, Elias might have a good shot to win this race. If not, put himself in a great position for a great finish. But Elias, I've noticed, has gotten into that wall a couple of times, last couple laps.
Yeah, he's got to be real careful of that and not cut down a tire and not put down on his momentum any more chances of damaging his races. He's continuing to, fight and put himself in more danger as he's got the leader right on his tail. But it's going to be down to the wire. I believe it's going to be really, really crazy if he has any opportunity of a great finish, because his pit stop went undetected from us, Josh, and he went down. He was a lap down majority of the night, not of his doing. He had a mistake really early that put him a lap down, and he's been trying to recover from that all night pretty much. He was caught out on a caution, I believe. It was the lap 100, I believe it was.
Yeah, he did get caught 1 lap down from that. Of course, was a wave around truck to get back on the lead lap. And then came down pit road shortly after they went back green. About 20 laps or so. 17 to go here. You see the gap between Andrew Elias, who is sitting 10th place, and behind him, Carl Felver, the leader. I'm not sure if this is a winning move, but it's definitely a good move to get him possibly a top 3 finish.
And going back to the remaining lead lap trucks, if they all have to pit like we suspect they do, because I don't think they can make it to the end from 92 laps. I don't believe. It's definitely close, but I don't think it's enough. They're all gonna. I just don't understand why Kyle Amon did not pit when he got held up by Michael Kruger, is what I was originally gonna say, because he was held up for multiple laps there, Josh, and he could have easily ducked into pit road and put on freshies and been huge advantage over Carl Felver. But he's past the 42 truck. He's run him down, Carl Felver, just a little bit now, and more lap trucks ahead, that 44, and a whole string of them with Alexander Griffin.
And Brad Bennett.
Elias gives way there. Yep.
Yeah, Elias pulls down, goes 2 laps down here.
But both of them through, but that really hurt Elias there, having to go all the way on the flat though.
I'm just curious to know what's going to happen in this race here. 13 laps to go. Estimated time left in the race is under 5 minutes. I still think they have to pit, and we could see another caution. Her fan just got into the wall.
About 90 laps at a .686 mile track. I mean, it might be enough. This could be the battle for the win right here. They might not need a pit, Josh. Crazy as it seems.
Well, Carl Felver has Alexander Kerfan just ahead. Felver's struggling to get around Kerfan. This is only going to help him on out.
He's on the inside, but he's got the weaker lane on the center of the corner. He was able to clear him on the straightaway, parked it in front of him in turn 2. He's able to gap him now, heading down the back straightaway, and now he's got one truck between he and Amon.
And I'm not so sure that this is going to be an easy pass for Amon. Thinking about what happened last season here.
Absolutely not, and that's why I'm pretty sure Alexander Kerfan parked his truck where he wanted it to there a lap ago. Now he's caught in the fence there as Amon gets through. Made it a little bit easier than he wanted, maybe.
Oh, man! Kerfan drove it in to the corner there. Amon just trying to do everything he can to rerun down the leader. 7 laps to go in the C2 Graphics Throwback 200 here at Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park. And what has been a very entertaining and unpredictable race so far.
Felver's going to really play these last couple laps are as predictable as possible for himself, as he's going to
Amon in the wall.
really hope he's got no issues ahead of him. As you mentioned, Josh, yeah, Amon in the wall, and he's not done yet. Again in turn 3. That might be the race ender right there. He's still wheeling off of turn 4, though. Only a second behind still. Doesn't look like he has got a ton of damage either.
I don't think he does. He definitely got into the wall a little bit there, trying to push it. Four laps to go. And Carl Felver has Brett Bennett ahead. And this might be Amon's last chance to be able to try to catch up to Felver if Brett Bennett makes it hard for Felver to get around. Dawson Allen is just ahead as well, but I think Dawson might pull it over to the side.
3 to going. Carl Felver's already having issues with the 47. He was loose off of turn 4. No doing the 47s, just the way the truck's going to handle in the dirty air. And it's going to be upset again here off this corner, I believe. Not as fast as he hopes, but he's still got a second gap to that 17 truck. He's really shipped it in there on Brett Bennett, though.
Yeah, he definitely did. Still struggling to get around Brett Bennett. The good news is, I think he's just far enough ahead of Amon that it's not really going to make too big of a difference unless he makes a mistake. Dawson Allen pulling over to the side. The white flag waves one more time around.
This is the closest the 17's been in several laps here, but he's got one last opportunity, and it might not be enough.
I don't think it is going to be enough. Off turn 4. The checkered flag is waving. Carl Felver, with his 3rd win of the season, wins the C2 Graphics Throwback 200 at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Kyle Amon bringing it home P2. Cameron Caldwell rounding out the podium finishers tonight. This race had 3 cautions, 2 of them for incident, 1 of them for the stage end. And Carl Felver, he's not slowed down at all over the last few weeks. Of course, having a good run last week at the Charlotte Roval before running into some problems. But I just want to say, Carl Felver, 100 laps was what his tires held on for.
Well, Josh, it's been the 3rd win in the last 5 races for that 15 truck. Very impressive, and all 3 of them have been on tracks shorter than a mile. And guess what? Make up a majority of the playoff rounds. A track shorter than a mile.
I think if anybody has a chance to win this championship, Carl Felver has got to be one of the favorites, assuming he's able to show up to all of them.
He's definitely been a wild card deep into the summer, and he's definitely taken advantage of that new format. And really impressive run to finish off this regular season. Like you mentioned, 2nd place last weekend and a 9th for his other finishes to accompany his 3 wins in the last 5 outings for that 15 truck.
All right, well, let's go ahead and bring in our 3rd place finisher. Well, Cam, 3rd place finish tonight. Had a pretty good run, just not as good as the 15 and 17 tonight. What was it like out there on those really long runs that we had?
It was pretty tough. I'm a little disappointed my long run pace wasn't quite where I thought it would be. Though I kind of felt like those 2 were going to be quick anyway. So I guess 3rd was probably about where I thought I would get tonight, unless some shenanigans happened. So it's about where I thought it would be. But overall, decent race for me. I just couldn't really figure out what I needed there, whether I needed more drive off or if I needed better center speed or what have you. So, yeah, I think 3rd was about where I was going to get, but it was nice to kind of have a uneventful race, especially after how last year went.
Well, we see just one more race left in the regular season, and that is the Talladega race next week, the very unpredictable wild card. What do you think is going to happen next week? Are you thinking that that's where all the chaos is going to be at that didn't really happen tonight?
Yeah, definitely. I haven't seen the points yet, but there's definitely going to be some stuff going down for sure next week with a bunch of guys trying to fight their way into the last playoff spot. I know a lot of the SPLD guys are in that range of being able to do so. So it's going to be fun, I think. There's going to be a lot of stuff going down. I know I got some points to make up still on Alonso, so I got to try to get those back, hopefully. I definitely think, I keep saying that it's going to be fun. It's going to be a very eventful race, I think. I think when you think of Talladega, there's only one thing to think, that's just chaos. So I don't think next week will be any different. It's going to be a good show. So make sure all of you watching now tune in.
Well, after Talladega, of course, we start the chase, and I'm curious: is there any of the tracks that you really have circled on the schedule or calendar that we visit in the chase?
I'd definitely say Martinsville is my biggest one. I've always been good at Martinsville, so I'm really looking forward to that one. Kansas, I've been pretty good too. I feel like Alonso and I have gone back and forth in all the races we've done there. So between us, it'll be a pretty good race, and obviously there's gonna be others that are gonna be quick. Phoenix I've been good at in other cars, but I haven't ran a whole lot of Phoenix in the trucks, so I'm hoping my skills there will translate, but we'll see. Bristol after Talladega will be, I think, a little unpredictable. I've been quick there in the past, but I haven't always been quick, and I don't have a whole lot of confidence there. So, but we saw last season Bristol was kind of all over the place too. So, I don't know. I'm looking forward to all the races for sure. Like I said, I think Martinsville's my biggest one on my calendar. That's circled, as you say. But I think all of them will put on a good show. Hopefully, get some good results and bring them another championship.
All right. Well, is there anybody you'd like to thank?
Yeah. Thanks to Indianapolis News for sponsoring myself, the series, and Radius overall. Thanks to Radius and my teammates for racing tonight. Thanks to C2 Graphics for the nice throwbacks for some of us. Thanks to our other Radius sponsors, Grid Network, Elite Performance Industries, ACR Digital, Left Coast Survivals, RPS Marketing, Milwaukee Massage Therapy, and everyone else that helps us get onto the virtual track. And thanks to you guys for broadcasting. Thanks to my friends and family for watching. And we will see you guys next week at Talladega.
All right, that was Cameron Caldwell, driver the number 12. Third place finish tonight. And Adam, you have our second place finisher, Kyle Amon.
Yeah, Kyle ran down Carlo there in the last couple laps. What more did you need to get around the 15 truck tonight?
Honestly, a better driver. I was awful tonight. Just nothing. Just making too many mistakes. So get what you deserve, and Carl drove a flawless race.
Well, we saw you drive through the field a couple times. How was it out there? And once the race settled out into the long ones, how was it out there?
I wasn't too bad. The guys were pretty good. They definitely ran you hard, but you need that, so it was perfect.
Well, we were glad to see you back out here on the racetrack. And you have anyone to shout out and thank after how it felt at P2 finish tonight?
Yeah, I gotta thank my brother. He got me going this week. It was a last minute decision to come run this, so we threw something together quickly. Days gone by, Vintage Apparel, Elite Performance Industries. I gotta thank my boss Dustin Hall to let me come do this on our off week. So I was pretty happy to do this.
All right. Well, thanks again, and thanks for your time, of course.
Yeah, guys, have a good night.
Tonight's runner-up, Kyle Amon. Josh.
I'm gonna catch up with our sixth place finisher, tonight's in-race reporter as well. Of course, we only talked to him just once, but Brett, you finished sixth tonight. Last truck on the lead lap. What was that last run like for you out there?
It was pretty calm. Alexander Kerfan was being very patient with me. He was lapped down behind me. I think might have been a little quicker early in the run, but because he wasn't racing me, he wasn't passing me, which was thank him for that. I was just trying to hold on. I knew I probably didn't have anything for the five guys in front of me. I was just hoping to hold on, maybe get a caution late. I was thinking about if we got a late caution, possibly staying out. Even that would have been really risky, but
I thought maybe it could do something with that, but end today, got 6, did everything I could today to get the points I need, and now go to Dega for what will be SBLD versus SBLD versus SBLD. So, yeah, it'll be that race was definitely physically demanding.
Well, you've already mentioned what I was going to talk about next, and that is Talladega being SBLD versus SBLD. Obviously, when we go to Daytona, Talladega, it is all a teammate race, but with you guys racing against each other, do you think that there will be racing with each other early on, or what do you think it's going to be like next week?
We'll see. I think we've discussed, and I think some of us have different ideas of what we're going to do. I'm not sure if I'm going to want to ride around early or try to go for stage points. Like, it's a lot of it's going to depend. Like, if Andrew's going for stage points, then I probably have to go just to try to match him. Prope's not running next week, supposedly does help with that, because that means it's basically 2 out of 3, which means if I can keep it clean and one of them wrecks, then we're in a good spot. But at the same time, I've always had good success working with like Dalton at Playtracks and even Andrew. So hopefully we'll be able to keep working together next week, even with that, and just let it play out and see what happens. But we'll see. Not my favorite to go into a Dega race where I might not be able to be aggressive like I want to be, but it'll be a good time.
All right. Well, is there anybody you'd like to thank who gets it done for you behind the 47 machine?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Dawson Allen, first of all, for all his work on the paint schemes. I'd like to thank my new sponsor, Joseph Strigley and Strigley Stats. Should be making their debut on the truck next week. We had already had the Skeet Throwback made for today, so didn't want to debut it here, but love that debuting at Dega, so looking forward to that. And yeah, and also just thank the rest of the members of SBLD, Dalton, especially also Michael and Andrew ran a 6 hours of walk-ins with them this morning and had a really good run that. Also Brian, Dalton, those are the other ones there tonight, but also Danny, Toasty, Jeffrey, Oscar, and any other members / support like Lurker and whoever else. Just all, it's great racing with them all the time. So, yep.
And actually, before I let you go this time, I totally wanted to ask you as well. When you ran the 6 hours, did that have any fatigue leading into this race that could have played into a factor tonight?
I don't think it was fatigue. I mean, I was tired today. This probably didn't help. That didn't help, but at the same time, this is not my strongest track. Honestly, just getting a 6th place finish for me is huge because it's a track where I really struggle at, and I'm sure Andrew and Michael were just as affected. So, it was. Thankfully, my stint was early, so I was able to probably have a little bit more time off than Andrew and Michael. So, but yeah, I don't think fatigue was really much of a factor tonight.
All right.
Also,
go ahead.
Also, next time, hopefully you wake up on time.
Yeah. Thanks for doing me like that. But
I had to do it, man. I had to do it.
Well, congrats on the 6th place finish. We'll see you next week at Talladega.
Yep, thank you. Have a great night, y'all.
So before we bring in Carl Felver, I just want to say what he was going at there was I was supposed to run the 6 hours of the Glen with them. We were doing a JCTV SBLD clash. My alarm went off. I shut it off, and next thing I know, it is several hours later. So that's what Brett Bennett was getting at there. But Adam, we go down to you in victory lane as you have our race winner, Carl Felver.
Yeah, from the burn in the booth to the burn on the racetrack, Carl Felver with a phenomenal performance tonight. You held off Kyle Armand in the last late laps. How was it, holding off that 17 truck tonight in lap traffic?
It's a lot of fun. We basically just tried to run our line and stayed just far enough ahead that we didn't have to worry about getting a bumper put to us and moved out of the way late, and we were able to stay far enough ahead working through that lap traffic and get through it pretty easily. So that really helped us, and we were able to stay just far enough ahead. So
Your third win on the season for the CFM team, what does it do for you going into the playoffs if you're able to, contest for a position, of course?
we were talking about it just before this. We think I've mathematically clinched in now. So as far as the playoffs, the playoff points will be good. Hopefully we can run like we have the last 3 or 5 races here and put a good run together through those 4 races and see how it works out for us at the end.
Of course, and your great performance lately have been on shorter racetracks like tonight, and of course a lot of them make up races in the playoffs. So what do you think about those 3 races that start off the 4-race playoff?
I'm not even sure what they are, but if they're shorter tracks, hopefully we can stay up front. That's what I did a lot when I first started iRacing, was a lot of short track stuff, a lot of open. So hopefully that can continue to carry over and help us keep some momentum going here and try and stay toward the front of the field, especially at the short tracks. It seems like it's going to be really hard to pass at most of these tracks. So stay up front and try and keep it clean.
Who do you like to shout out and thank after, obviously, a great win tonight?
Biggest person I got to shout out is Alonso. He doesn't know it, but he showed me the line stage 1. I was using up too much tire and just had nothing for long run speed, and I was able to adjust it to the line he ran, and that really helped my long run speed. So shout out to him for helping me out there, even though he did it unknowingly. Then Cam and Alonso for everything they do for the league. You guys for broadcasting, CFM, Mardon, everybody that helps make this happen.
Congratulations again, and thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
How about tonight's winner, Josh?
Absolutely great run there for Carl Felver and his race win. That about wraps it up here from Indianapolis Raceway Park. Let's go ahead and quickly go through our unofficial results. Carl Felver, of course, with the win. Kyle Lamont, P2. Cameron Caldwell takes his machine into 3rd. Alonso Chicano finishes 4th. And Justin Durant rounds out the top 5. Adam?
Brett Bennett, who we heard from a moment ago, rounds out the lead lap trucks in P6 after a 6-hour performance earlier today. And Michael Kruger, P7. Dawson Allen, 8th. Alexander Kurfan finishes 9th. And Andrew Elias rounding out the top 10 trucks and our finishing trucks, in tonight's race from IOP.
Zach Probst finishes 11th. Matthew Stotts in 12th. And Noah Mayeri finishes 13th. Jace Gracias did not start the race tonight, so he will not be scored with the 14th place position. He will be scored as DNS did not start. Next week, we go to Talladega, June 25th. 94 laps is that race, and that'll be the last race of the regular season. And the chase starts, of course, a 4-race chase. And some drivers, they've been calling it a playoffs. It is a chase. It is the old-style chase that the In the Pits News Truck Series is doing. So it'll be 4 straight races, no eliminations after a certain amount of races. Drivers have 4 races that they have to put together to try to be crowned champion at Kansas. You can catch Talladega pre-race show at 7:45 Eastern next week, June 25th. You're not going to want to miss that one at all, as Talladega always puts on a great show, and why not throw it as the last race before the playoffs? That's going to do it from us here at Lucas Oil on behalf of Adam Kuhn and everybody that makes this league possible. I'm Joshua Copperl, and we'll see you next time. Stay safe and take care.